Meeting of August 7th. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, the adequate notice of this meeting was provided on December 10th, 2024 by sending written notice and electronic notice to the Courier News and the Breeze, posting on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building, and filing with the township clerk. May we have the roll call, please?
Councilman Kirsch?
Here.
Councilman Cardilla?
Here.
Councilman Perdoso?
Here.
Councilman Ring?
Yes, here.
President Norgalis?
Yes. Councilman Ring, would you please lead us in the pledge? Please stand if you are able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have the minutes for approval of May 27th, which was a special session. Has everyone had an opportunity to opine on those? If so, could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. The Township Council reports. Could we start with Councilman Cardilla, please?
Okay, since our last meeting, what I've done is, after our Camp Cromwell presentation, I had a few questions related to some of the details and also some questions related to the structures at Camp Cromwell. So I met with the administration to get some answers, and I'm pleased to say that the activity that is planned addresses the majority of concerns that I do have. I also reached out to the administration regarding complaints that I was aware of related to a construction site in Bridgewater Township. And the result of that has been that the building department and zoning are addressing the concerns that I brought to the council after reading some documents from the resident. The only thing that I can say to add to that is to anybody in Bridgewater Township, if you are aware of anything around your property that you have concerns about, I would offer the best thing to do is don't just sit back and complain about it a day or two later. If you see something going on that really affects you and your property, put a call in immediately. Don't sit and don't wait on it. Chances are, if you wait on it, it's over and done. So call. Don't be afraid to call. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Ring, please.
Thank you. Not much to report. I was very fortunate to attend the ribbon cutting for the new LL Bean store that opened on July 25th in Bridgewater. One interesting item out of that, I think it was the first 100 people in line got a $50 LL Bean gift card. The first gentleman in line, Mr. Dennis Kim, drove from Newark, Delaware, got there at 4:30 in the morning so that he could collect a $50 LL Bean gift card, which he spent more gas. Well, gas and tolls.
Gas and tolls.
Gas and tolls. And he used that gift card to buy a LL Bean canvas bag for his wife with free embroidery, which I found very interesting. 4:30 in the morning to drive to Bridgewater, New Jersey for the opening of the LL Bean store. But I will say this, a great addition to our community. In conjunction with their grand opening, they wrote a check for $10,000 to the YMCA. And just a lot of excitement there that day. And I'm personally very happy that LL Bean is in Bridgewater. But that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Pedroso, please.
Hello, good evening. Nice to see everybody here tonight. Thanks for joining us at our council meeting. What I'm going to say really is I just wanted to pay my respects to our neighboring councilman, Pippa Gladstone Council President John Sweeney, passed away yesterday suddenly at the age of 63. Mr. Sweeney was an attorney. He had been involved in Pippa Gladstone for many years. He was also a candidate for county surrogate in this election cycle. And so certainly I send my condolences to his family and to the community for that loss. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kirsch, please.
Thank you. There have been no land use boards meetings since we last met. I was also at the LL Bean ribbon cutting and glad that the order.
$50 certificate?
I did not get a $50 certificate. I wasn't there at 4:30. I'm glad that Mr. Ring was able to give the description because he is the LL Bean enthusiast among us. Did want to spend just a couple quick minutes to talk about a pending issue that I believe will have considerable impact on the township. In the intervening time since our last meeting, I opened my PSE&G bill, and I was prepared that it was going to be a little higher. And let's just say in my house, it was more than a little bit higher. And so, of course, after, considering the impact on my home, as I often do, I say, well, what's the impact to the township? Because, I got a 2,300 square foot house that I need to heat and cool and electrify. Obviously, we have much more than that. So that's what prompted a dialogue with Mr. Pappas. And this is definitely an issue that we're going to need to stay on top of. A couple of quick highlights of the dialogue. Obviously, the township and the sewer utility will be impacted. We need to run our pumps at the utility pretty much all the time, and certainly everybody sees the lighting and heating and air conditioning and everything else that goes on in all of our buildings. The DPW buildings and grounds officials continue to be conscientious about any ways to save energy, and certainly will be even more diligent on a go-forward basis. There is likely to be impact on the 2025 budgets, because while there is certainly some allocation of variance, a variance like this was not expected. 2026, again, likely to also have considerable budget impact. I've asked if we can make sure to consider in even greater measures solar as part of the Middlebrook project. The Middlebrook Pump Station project, along with any other energy efficiency programs, anything that we're building at Cromwell. I mean, typically speaking, solar is going to involve a considerable investment, but can have a long-term benefit, and we may be in a position to be able to consider that. I just find the whole situation to be very troubling. At the same time that the state of New Jersey seems to be finding more and more ways to regulate us, the state seems to have been asleep at the switch over the last many years with an effective long-term energy plan. I know everybody points to global warming. Everybody points to data centers. They point to 100 reasons. I, as a resident and as a representative of our residents here in Bridgewater, I'm just horribly disappointed that the state of New Jersey over the last 5, 8, 10 or more years seems to have made no allocation for the possibility of increased energy use. And the reason why we're all paying more now, it's a simple matter of supply and demand. There is not enough supply and there is more demand. And unfortunately, there probably is not an easy fix for this. The easy fix would have been for consideration of greater energy production on the drawing board 5, 8, or 10 years ago. But through the lens of the budget particularly, I will continue to work with Mr. Pappas and the administration, and we'll get through this, but it may not be pretty. And that's my report.
Thank you. My report had a guided tour of the 100-acre Camp Cromwell property, courtesy of Michael Pappas and DPW Superintendent Richard Schimpf. It has been several years since my last walkthrough, and the results of the almost weekly vandalism are evident in every building. Our DPW department boards up windows, and the vandals evidently come with their own tools to rip off the boards and just senseless smashing windows and frames. It's a shame. The police respond, but so far there have been no arrests. To the extent that we've been talking Camp Cromwell tonight, one of the things on the agenda is a bond for $975,000 to really start the process. We all learned a couple of weeks ago that the $4 million that has been sponsored through our federal folks is a reimbursable grant, so we have to spend the money to be able to get it back. I received a call from our SRVSA commissioner that our measured flow at the treatment plant is running far in excess of our estimated flow. That's going to take some real research between now and the end of the year. I, like Councilman Pedroso, am saddened to report the passing of 63-year-old John Sweeney. John was a Republican candidate for surrogate in the fall election. He leaves a wife and 4 children. He was a good guy. I am set, by the way, on electricity. One of the things that I recently was reading about is one of the major uses of electricity is people leaving their chargers plugged in. If you're using a charger for anything, when you're done charging, unplug it because there's a little transformer in there and that's working all the time. So it's a minor thing, but everything adds up. I received a copy of a 5/8-inch thick packet. It's the application for approval of financial agreement from Kevin Coakley. He's the attorney for Advanced Realty, and it relates to the Route 202-206 location. That whole package will be perused by the page by Mr. Crosini's organization before it comes to the council, which it will at some point in the not-too-distant future. That is my report. Mr. Mayor, welcome.
Thank you. I have nothing to report.
Oh, what a good report. Okay, there are no proclamations. I'm going to turn it back over to you for item number 8, which is presentations.
Thank you. And, Council President, if it's okay with you, we would do the Mayor's Award for Exceptional Public Service first, and then we can do the presentation on promotional ordinance, unless you want to do it in reverse order.
Whatever you like.
Let's do the, since we have folks here for that, we will do the Mayor's Award for Exceptional Public Service first. I'm going to come down to the podium. Mr. Pappas is informed me I need to fix my jacket collar first, so well, make sure I look spiffy for the presentations.
When Suzanne tells you where to stand for a picture.
Exactly. So Suzanne missed the jacket, though. I don't know where you were on that one. All right.
Actually taught Suzanne something at the LL Bean opening about pictures.
One of the things that we started to do this year was to give out a Mayor's Award for Exceptional Public Service. And this is not something that we decided to do on a regular basis, not every month, and we have to find somebody to fit the criteria. We decided that we wanted to give this out when individuals, whether they be police officers or whether they be citizens who happen to be at the right place or the wrong place at the right time, that step up and provide exceptional service to our community and who go above and beyond what you would expect from the average citizen, the average police officer, the average public servant. And we have an opportunity tonight to honor 3 individuals for their exceptional service to our community. 2 of them are our police officers who every day serve our community without proclamations or without the fanfare that goes with an award at a council meeting, as well as a citizen who went above and beyond the call in the aid of somebody who needed help immediately. So we'll call everybody up and I'll do it individually unless, Suzanne, you want me to do it differently. Let's do the video first. I really should just let Suzanne tell me what to do. I don't know why but it's nice that you let me think that I've made that decision on my own.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to come up now and My name is Jamie Edwards. I'm a lieutenant with the Bridgewater Police Department, and I'm also the coordinator for the Office of Emergency Management.
Hi, my name is Mike Macchia. I'm a detective with the Bridgewater Township Police Department.
My name is Steve Zeichner. I'm a lieutenant with the Bridgewater Police Department.
Hi, my name is Tyron Barnett. I'm a detective with the Bridgewater Township Police Department.
So Bridgewater Township uses the Nixle system, and we encourage residents to sign up for that. There's links on the police department website as well as the township website, and that allows residents to pick and choose when they want to receive alerts, whether it's just advisory messages for road closures and so on, or for alerts for emergencies. But we encourage you to heed those warnings, read those warnings, and pay attention to those warnings. If you see water, turn around, don't drown. If you see a barricade or cones across the roadway, heed those cones and barricades that are blocking your way and find another way home.
So our officers are taking a good amount of risk when they're involved in dangerous storms like that and responding to calls for service. They have potential for wires down, encountering them unexpectedly, or unexpected floodwaters, and then putting themselves in dangerous positions by going in and rescuing people.
If you find yourself in a car and your vehicle is surrounded by water, you need to contact 911, give them your location, and I would lower the windows in your car or make sure electric locks are unlocked before the battery gets wet and you lose power in your vehicle. You should always be aware of where you are when you're driving down the road. And what we saw on July 14th was a lot of people were not exactly sure where they were. It worked out because we had many resources in the area, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. So your precise location is very important.
On July 14th, I received some notifications via email that there was going to be some severe weather coming in. So, we did have some advance notice, but it was only maybe an hour.
So I was home at the time the rain started, monitoring the conditions, speaking with the officers working the road, started to see that a lot of floods were occurring, flash flooding in certain areas of the township, and we know kind of where those areas are. So I started heading in, and by the time I got here, Route 22 was flooded.
At the beginning of the evening on July 14th, I heard a call on the radio from our Lieutenant Zeichner in regards to extra hand and helping with the chaos that was happening in town because of the rapid water that was flowing. So I jumped in the car with Detective Macchia and we went to go help.
So I was positioned at Brandywine Assisted Living on Route 22 dealing with vehicles that were trapped in the floodwaters. I had reached out to them and asked them if there was a way that they could get to Brandywine to assist me.
So we were on our way down the mountain. Our plan was to try to get down the mountain because there was some flooding on 22. So we were going to go up and around. And then at that point, we got to a road where we could not go down any further. And we saw a vehicle in there. And Detective Barnett saw somebody waving, kind of asking for help inside that vehicle.
Yeah. You sure? My thought process was, hey, let's help. Obviously they're in some type of distress where they can't do it alone. We're here, so let's do our duty.
Yeah, so some of the things you have to consider when something like that happens is you don't want to add to the potential victim pool or to have rescuers now have to come try to help us, right? So we had to assess the scene, like Detective Barnett was saying, and really feel that we felt, capable and comfortable walking through that water, which we both did. And then from there, we started to make our approach.
Once when I arrived at the vehicle, I immediately started speaking with the occupants of the vehicle to try to determine what their capabilities were and how best we can help them. Once when we figured that out, we gained access to the vehicle and just try to stay as calm as possible and preach to them that we're here to help and we're going to be able to get through this situation together.
They were good. They were responsive. They were clearly scared and, they just kind of frightened in fear almost and not moving. Once we were there, they started to feel a little bit more comfortable and they were willing to try to help themselves as well.
The game plan, once when we got the occupants out of the vehicle, was trying to figure out the best way to get everyone to dry land, whether it was one by one or all together.
Local lane, I have a block. Come back. You good? All right, stay sideways this way.
You want to stay right there? I'll come back at you.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
That's okay, go back that way.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let's see if this might make it through.
You stay over here?
This might be the
It's a little stronger. It is a little bit stronger.
And as the situation continued, we realized that the best route would have been one by one, and then lucky enough for us, the real hero stepped in, the truck driver that came in and assisted us all.
Just the typical Good Samaritan. You can see he wanted to help. He was excited to help. No questions asked. Just, how could I help you guys?
This was the greatest sign of relief for us because we knew this was going to be an efficient manner to be able to get everyone to safety. Immediately, when the truck driver pulled up, we relayed to the occupants of the vehicle, say, hey, we're going to go one by one. We're going to place you inside the bed of the truck so that way we all together can go and we don't have to navigate the water anymore.
Yeah, for the size of his vehicle, for sure, we knew that he would, that vehicle would be able to get through the water. We're relieved. It really saved the day, like Detective Barnett said. They were very relieved. As we expressed our relief for him being there, they were just as happy and, glad to be out of that situation.
You got a business card? Give me 1 second.
Does that drop down or are they gonna?
Yeah, they're gonna
Behind this way? Okay, you guys have to come in down this way now. Yeah, over here.
623. 623. Just run that by Swan and myself at 625. Well, he was the 3 occupants of the vehicle.
Try to step over here.
We had 70 calls for service that we handled over 4 hours, and every single person that was working that night had a role, and they were drenched head to toe. After the road started opening and the floodwater receded, we were having guys come in one by one to change their uniforms, dry out, change their boots out, and the agency has been great in keeping us well equipped so that we're able to be, returned right back to patrol after that. So, yeah, it was great teamwork. It was great to see everybody working together.
Personal risk for me was already answered and determined the moment I took an oath to do this job, and that's the most important thing. So you put that in the back of your mind and you put whoever is calling for help first.
Before I give out the awards, I'd like to ask the chief and our command staff and the officers to come up and help me give these out. When it comes to our police department, it's the guys on the road, the gals on the road who are the front line of keeping our township safe. But the character of our department is top down, and without the leadership of our chief, of our captains, of our lieutenants, of all the officers who have taken the oath to not just serve our community, but to also lead our officers. It's because of all of your leadership, and Chief, your leadership, that we have as great a department as we do. And to our captains and all the command staff and our leaders here, thank you for instilling in our officers the sense of bravery and selfless service that we see day in and day out from our officers. who never know what they're going to face every day. And for our citizen who's probably never been so happy to have, people have never been so happy to see you pull up in a truck ready to jump in the back like that. For somebody who's well, I guess I don't know if you're what you do in your free time, but not a police officer on a day-to-day basis, who's not trained to step in and jump in those situations. At least not as an officer. I don't know what you do in free time, like I said, but who's willing to step in and put yourself at risk. It's really impressive, and we thank you for what you've done for our officers and for the public that we serve. Chief, do you want to say a few words before we give these out?
The video pretty much said everything, but Bridgewater is it's a very busy town for I'm sure everybody who lives here. The police department is constantly in motion. We respond to vehicle crashes every hour, squad calls, domestic violence, retail thefts, and our work doesn't slow down, especially when these storms come in. It adds to our work. So like the video showed on that Monday, that storm dumped about 5 inches of rain in about 2 hours. And like Lieutenant Zeichter said, there was like 70 calls for service in 4 hours. When we put out those state of emergencies and stay off the roads, we do so not to inconvenience anyone, but we do it to protect your life and our life. But still, we get it that sometimes people are trapped out in the weather, and we will always respond. No matter the conditions, we will do what's necessary to assist and rescue anyone in need. I want to personally commend Detective Barnett and Detective Macchia for their outstanding bravery and quick response during the storm. And as you saw, their actions that night were carried out without hesitation and without regard for their own safety. A special thank you goes to Mr. Michael Fratesi, all right. You just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and your willingness to step in and help both the detectives and the frightened occupants was truly a blessing for everyone, and your support made a difference, and I thank you for that also. Lastly, I just want to recognize every officer that worked during the storm that night. Each one demonstrated courage and commitment in their own way. There wasn't a single dry uniform, as we saw on the video, and yet no one hesitated to serve. And again, thank you to everyone for your dedication, your heart, and your heroism. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. So we're going to read the proclamations and bring everybody up for pictures. And I just want to make 2 comments first. One is, I don't think people always appreciate how powerful that water can be until you're in it. Even where you see it a couple inches deep flowing down the street, it's way more serious and can get very serious very quickly. When we had Ida, Bridgewater lost 4 residents. 4 folks died in our borders, and we lost a resident, Susie Hanna, who was somebody my wife was a youth group minister to when she was little. Got stuck, car got trapped in water in a neighboring town, and couldn't get out. And so these types of situations, sometimes when we're sitting here nice and dry, it's a beautiful day out, and you see the water, and you say, man, that looks cold and wet, but it's it's some water on the road. It is incredibly dangerous. It picks up current very quickly, and without the efforts of our officers and our Good Samaritan, we don't know where anybody. Hopefully, it would have worked out all right, but you never know. And especially to the significant others of our police officers, I always like the opportunities for like this where family members can get to see what their loved ones do. It also makes me nervous, though, because I don't want you worrying about them all the time when they're out there. But thank you for your support of them. I don't take it for granted, and I know it puts a burden on all of you and your families, and it's not just on the officers. So thank you for your support of our officers and for being there for them. So with that, is there any particular order I need to do this in? Okay. I can do whenever I want. All right. So we'll have Detective Barnett please come up. We'll read this, and then we'll give it to you, and we'll take pictures. Okay. Yeah, right there. There's no swearing in on this one, so we don't have to get the Bible out with the pictures, but all right. Whereas on July 14th, 2025, Bridgewater Township was impacted by a sudden and intense rainstorm, which caused dangerous and far-rising floodwaters that endangered the lives of multiple residents. And whereas during this severe weather emergency, Detective Tyron Barnett responded without hesitation to a life-threatening situation involving 3 civilians trapped in a partially submerged vehicle amid raging floodwaters. And whereas, demonstrating exceptional bravery, composure, and an unwavering sense of duty, Detective Barnett, alongside his partner, entered hazardous waters with swift-moving currents and floating debris, remaining calm under pressure while executing a daring and selfless rescue. And whereas his quick actions, clear communication, and commitment to public safety played a pivotal role in preventing a potential tragedy. And whereas Detective Barnett's valor and professionalism in the face of grave danger serve as an inspiring example of public service at its finest and reflect great credit upon the Bridgewater Township Police Department. Whereas Detective Barnett's conduct reflects the highest ideals of public service, law enforcement, and heroism, and has brought pride to our entire community. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Matthew C. Mensch, Mayor of Bridgewater Township, in conjunction with the Township Council, do hereby recognize and commend Detective Tyron Barnett for his extraordinary courage, selfless service, and life-saving actions, and call upon all residents to join us in expressing profound gratitude and admiration for his heroism on July 14th, 2025, and always. Congratulations, and thank you. This. Okay, Detective Macchia? Whole thing again. You listen, we're not shortchanging yet, right? Whereas, on July 14th, 2025, Bridgewater Township was impacted by a sudden and intense rainstorm, which caused dangerous and fast-rising floodwaters that endangered the lives of multiple residents. And whereas during the severe weather emergency, Detective Michael Macchia responded without hesitation to a life-threatening situation involving 3 civilians trapped in a partially submerged vehicle amid raging floodwaters. And whereas demonstrating exceptional bravery, composure, and an unwavering sense of duty, Detective Macchia, alongside his partner, entered hazardous waters with swift-moving currents and floating debris, remaining calm under pressure while executing a daring and selfless rescue. Whereas his quick actions, clear communication, and commitment to public safety played a pivotal role in preventing a potential tragedy. Whereas Detective Macchia's valor and professionalism in the face of grave danger serve as an inspiring example of public service at its finest and reflect great credit upon the Bridgewater Township Police Department. Whereas Detective Macchia's conduct reflects the highest ideals of public service, law enforcement, and heroism, and has brought pride to our entire community. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Matthew C. Mensch, Mayor of Bridgewater Township, and in conjunction with the Township Council, do hereby recognize and commend Detective Michael Macchia for his extraordinary courage, selfless service, and life-saving actions, and call upon all residents to join us in expressing profound gratitude and admiration for his heroism on July 14th, 2025, and always. Thank you. Come right, get a picture.
No.
Okay, last but not least. Fatesi, correct? Come on. All right, make sure I said it right. How did the chief say it wrong the first time? Just make sure I could do it right. All right. Whereas, on July 14th, 2025, a powerful and sudden storm struck Bridgewater Township, unleashing torrential rainfall and flash flooding that turned roadways into dangerous waterways, endangering the lives of residents and first responders alike. And whereas during this life-threatening event, 2 Bridgewater Township police detectives were engaged in the rescue of 3 civilians trapped in a rapidly flooding vehicle when the conditions became increasingly perilous. Whereas Mr. Michael Fratesi, an employee of Northeast Construction and a lifelong member of the Bridgewater community, courageously drove his dump truck through the treacherous floodwaters upon witnessing the scene, using his vehicle and instincts to provide critical support. Whereas Mr. Fratesi's selfless intervention played a vital role in ensuring the safety of not only the 3 stranded civilians, but also the 2 detectives, whose lives are also at risk due to the strength and swiftness of the current. Whereas Mr. Fratesi, the son of Bridgewater Raritan High School West alumni Kim and Michael Fratesi, exemplified the highest standards of courage, community spirit, and decisive action in the face of extreme danger. And whereas his actions embody the true meaning of a Good Samaritan, demonstrating that heroism is not defined by uniform or duty alone, but by character, compassion, and courage when it matters most. Now therefore, be it resolved, I, Matthew C. Mensch, Mayor of Bridgewater Township, and in conjunction with the Township Council, do recognize and commend Mr. Michael Fratesi for his extraordinary bravery, selfless service to others, and unwavering commitment to human life and community safety. And I call upon all residents of Bridgewater Township to join me in honoring his heroic contribution to the flood rescue of July 14th, 2025.
Just stand where she tells you.
Just hold on one second. Fully take that sign and take that with you. I'm not kidding. I'm just by the dichotomy.
I got one with my notes already on it.
We're up to the next item, which is the presentation of a promotion ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief Mitzek and I, in conjunction with our attorneys, have been discussing various changes to police promotion ordinance, and some draft thoughts have been distributed for your review, and Chief has some short presentation to make to highlight the proposed changes. Thank you, Chief.
I guess everybody has a copy in front of them? Okay, so I'll just go through them quick. I know you have a busy meeting. The first part that we're looking to change is in the sergeant promotion process. Our current order is they will send a letter of interest and a resume. Then we look at their seniority, their education, and then finally we do a supervisory review and an oral interview. And that way, and then we form our top 10 list from that. The proposed change is a little different, is they would submit their letter of interest and their resume. We would then do our supervisory review, then our oral interview, and then after that, we would add in seniority and education. And the justification for that is seniority and education will be considered after a candidate qualifies for the top 10 through the initial stages of the process. This ensures that candidates are evaluated based on current performance and merit rather than relying on seniority or education to gain access to the interview phase. It strengthens the integrity of the promotional process by prioritizing leadership readiness and supervisory input before scoring legacy favors or factors. So that's the reason for that change. Keep going. Next one, we're talking about time and grade. The one line we add was the date used to calculate the minimum service requirement will be the date of issuance of the written notice commencing the applicable promotion process. The reason for this is it removes the ambiguity and standardizes eligibility by establishing a clear benchmark the date the promotional process is officially initiated. The guys who come in the past and ask questions will say, okay, the process is starting in September, but it won't be done until November. In September, I don't have time on to apply, but if you were to allow it to take effect in November, I'll have the time. So that's why we wanted to say, when we put out the notice for the start of the promotion, that's whatever time you have on the job at that point, that's where we're going to factor, if that makes sense. I hope. Yes? Yep. Clear? Okay. All right. We want to eliminate the probationary period for promotions. The reason for this is in Title 40, it limits probation to 1 year upon initial employment for a police officer. So promotion take effect immediately, reducing unnecessary administrative delays. If there's concern of like, well, okay, what if the sergeant or the newly promoted lieutenant is not doing well? There is disciplinary actions, including demotions, would remain available through our current policy procedures and rules and regs. So that's the reason for that. In the lieutenant promotion process, the only change for that is the same thing we had in the sergeant's promotion is when does the process start and how, once we submit the letter saying that the process started, whatever time you have in your position, that's when the clock starts. The oral interview panel, when it comes to sergeants and lieutenants, the change we had in there is we had the 5 people that do the oral interviews are the chief, the 2 captains, and the current policy says administrative lieutenant and an operations lieutenant. So we removed that just to say 2 lieutenants. And the reason for that is sometimes a lieutenant could be out on sick duty, he could be on an extended vacation, and if we don't follow the process to the T, someone could challenge it and say, wait a second, it said you were supposed to have an operation lieutenant and an admin lieutenant in the interview. So that eliminates that. It's just we're going to have 2 lieutenants in the interview. So there's that. If someone withdraws from the oral interview, what we're saying is you were no longer involved in the process. So we've had in the past where if we have a top 10 list, and let's say only, at this time, maybe only 2 or 3 officers will be promoted. Some officers will say, you know what, I don't think I'm scoring high enough, so I'm going to leave the process. I'm not going to take part in your interview because they don't have to study. So what we're saying is if you don't take the oral interview, you are removed from the process altogether. I think that's self-explanatory. For a tiebreaker, we never had that yet, but if we did, it would be on the length of service and if you're a resident of the township. That's a tiebreaker, sir.
Sorry, on the, if you don't participate in the oral interview process, you're out. Does that preclude them from, in a future round,
No.
being back? Okay.
No, it's only for the current process.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Let's see, almost there. So now the captain promotion process. Currently in the policy, the captains are selected from a pre-established list that is valid for approximately 2 years. The change we're looking to put in is eliminate the long-term standing list and generate a new candidate list each time there's a vacancy that arises. So there's no longer a list. So if a captain retires, we'll start the process again. The reason for that, or the justification for that, it promotes sustained performance and leadership growth among the lieutenants. It prevents complacency associated with long-standing list placement, and it ensures each selection reflects current operational needs and real-time candidate readiness. So that's the reason for that. I know, Councilman, you might have a question about once the candidates are selected for captain, it's my responsibility to forward that up to the mayor for his approval. Any questions on that?
I think from an ordinance point of view, and if I have this right, I'm on page 9, 3A2. The chief of police shall recommend the promotion to the most qualified candidate to be promoted to the position of captain, but the ordinance does not specify who that recommendation is going to. I think it should.
I think I don't know if it's not, in the current ordinance, it does say that the recommendation goes to the appropriate authority, who is the mayor.
It's not, that's not language is not in the current.
I would have
See
to,
what I'm talking about, Matt?
Yeah, okay. So I mean, I think if it's not in there, it needs to be in there. If
Yes.
it's in there, we're not seeing it, then Chris can point it out to us.
Some wordsmithing.
Yeah.
and I believe last but not least is the conflict of interest clause we're looking to add. It says any supervisory officer must recuse themselves entirely from participating in any promotional process if a relative or a member of the household is a candidate. I think that's self-explanatory.
Your comment, by the way, Tim, in paragraph 7, appointment, the language that's used here is appointing authority. It should say appropriate authority because appropriate authority is an actual term of art as opposed to appoint.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. Are you done?
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I have a couple other questions or comments. On page 2, number 7, the salary and other compensation for the chief shall be set forth in an employment contract. I think we've done an employment contract for the first time, but I think we should leave ourselves flexibility there. I think it should be an employment contract or salary ordinance.
That's in my notes.
Okay, that's in Chris's notes. And then, I don't know if this would ever happen. Jumping to page 11 on the captain promotion, this suggests that the chief would always come from a captain. The captain would always become the next chief.
No, it says, I know our current ordinance says lieutenants and captains are eligible to be the chief.
So I think then, okay, so real quick, from the bottom of page 10, notwithstanding the foregoing, in the event that there is a vacancy at the rank of captain, maybe I misread that then. I'll reread that, I'll let you know. That one may be my reading then.
Yeah, it should, I think we changed it a couple years ago. The ultimate, we're certainly looking at captains, and we were looking at chief, was to make sure that the broadest, not the broadest pool possible, but that we're not limited where we ever have a situation where we are basically, down to only one eligible candidate, or the pool of candidates is so small that we're.
Yep. Agreed. I'm good otherwise.
For those of us who just saw the copy of this, if you want to make comments and forward them back, who should the comments go to? You want them to go to the clerk, or you want them to go to the chief?
I don't know. Yeah, go to Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, and he'll direct it.
Any council comments, refer them to Administrator Pappas. Thank you.
So mine is, thank you, Chief. Yeah, I think.
Okay, we're now up to meeting open to the public. Item number 9, members of the public wishing to address the council on a matter will be allowed 3 minutes to speak unless there are unusual circumstances. May I have a motion open to the public, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. A second, please? Second? I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Philippe, you did the second? Thank you. All right. It is approved. We are open. Hello, Ms. Rose.
Hello. Don't worry, this is not going to get to be a regular occurrence.
I don't know, Chris, I've seen you now twice in 2 days, so we're on the same social calendar.
A little more formal today. I'm here because, first of all...
Chris, move the mic, so there you go.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. We've had 1.5, almost 2 days at the 4-H fair. We've had a lot of interest in the booth that we have there, and we have a lot of work to do about educating our residents in terms of what historical options we have in our community, because most of the people were needing to be informed, which is fine. We'll keep doing it. That's part of what Friends of Bridgewater History is all about. One of the things that I believe that's become rather obvious to me in the last couple of weeks is that I'm not sure where communication goes or comes from or whatever, but I want to make you aware that the Friends of Bridgewater History has been and continues to be open to a public-private partnership on your historical properties. We don't want to be in the buildings, but we sure would like an opportunity to be on site, especially the Lane Brokaw House, where we can weed and do some gardening, maybe paint the flagpole. Definitely for your edification prior to the journey through the past, which you've been gracious enough to let us do on site. The front door needs a painting. We can do it, you can do it, whatever works best for you, we're happy to help. We stand ready to assist you in whatever projects you have. Cromwell, Hancock, obviously Lane Brokaw, Voorhees, any of the properties that you've come to own that you think we can be of a benefit to help you out. Again, I'm going to make the offer. I'll make the offer in a formal way here at this meeting, so everybody knows that we want to do that. Okay. I'm going to ask, when you start having the conversation about the ordinance related to Cromwell, that some of the conversations that I know my significant other has had with people, if that could be part of the record. I'm very concerned about the fire safety regulations or lack thereof in the buildings that you currently have on site that you do not have any plans to do anything with at this particular point in time. I know that you've heard from, I think it was you, Alan, or maybe you, Howard, I forget which now, about the issues with Mr. Schimpf saying that, yes, people go in there, you put the boards up, they come in, they knock them down, they're in the buildings. See it all the time. The fire department is there, not all the time, but with some regularity, because of fire alarm systems going off or whatever their problems are. I don't understand all of it, but you do, I think, Alan. You have to somehow or other mothball those buildings. Put a ring service up, call ADT. I really don't care. By the time you find out that somebody's been in those buildings, they're done. The $4 million that you have, $2 million of it, at least right now, I think is going to have to go to the things you already have identified, plus the improvements to just getting to those other two buildings. And the longer it waits for you to do something, to mothball those things efficiently and effectively, the longer you take, obviously, the more you're going to need to do when you get around to being able to do it when you're financially in a position. Based on the conversation we heard last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not 100% sure I'll still be living in Bridgewater at the time that you finally get the camp open, which is okay, I guess. You know, my grandchildren will enjoy it, which is fine. I have no problem with that. I have a lot of fond memories of the activities that the fire department did there, a lot of fond memories of the things that the Office of Youth Services was able to do in those buildings when the Boys Club owned the property. We did a lot of really good work in there. Look forward to a time when that can happen again. I don't know if there's a divorce in your future if you don't get that building open, and the barn.
Maybe if I don't get the Creative Arts building going.
Yeah, that and the barn, you're in deep doo-doo. So the barn on the Hancock property, I know that the Hancock property is a problem because there's a bridge that needs to be built to gain access to it. But the last time I was there, when I was on the council, which was 5 years ago, the foundation was already coming apart. And I can only imagine what it must look like now. But that building, the Yaley House on Chimney Rock Road, those are some of the oldest buildings in Bridgewater Township. They're older than Lane Brokaw. They speak to our history. They speak to who we are and where we've come from. And right now, the way in which we're treating them demonstrates our respect for what those people who lived in those buildings meant to us and meant to our past. We've already figured out we have the 250th anniversary next year. Our experience at the camp, at the fair this year, I've already identified the spot we want to be, Michael, so I'll work with you to get it. If we have to toss in a little extra cash, we'll figure that out. But I think it's a great opportunity. This experience at the fair this year has been really positive, and we think that it's a good spot for us to celebrate the 250th anniversary with program. And of course, I'm not speaking on behalf of the organizations that are involved. I'm just speaking on behalf of me. But I'm sure that we'll get those other organizations, the History Alliance, involved. So thank you very much. And hopefully, I don't have to come back for a while. Not that I haven't enjoyed it.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Gus, and I live back to Camp Cromwell. 15 years ago, I stood here about the noise with the basketball courts, and everyone said the noise wasn't going to be there. The noise was there. We had noise meters in the neighborhood to measure the noise, and it was a very definite problem. The barriers that they put up with trees, that was part of the agreement with the Boys Club. The trees died every year. They would come back and replant the trees, so it was a problem. So now, not only do we have to worry about the basketball courts, the way we understand it, we have to now worry about pickleball courts, which is going to be an even bigger noise problem. Additionally, I'm concerned about the traffic on Vossler Avenue. On a good day, Vossler Avenue is a bad place for traffic. As you know, when it backs up on 22, it backs up straight up the mountain. So I'm hoping that there will be noise studies and traffic studies before we go forward with this. It's a concern. And believe me, I'm an invested member of this community, being a member here, a citizen here for 35 years. We care about this and want this to be done in the best way possible, but these are legitimate concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the council?
Good evening. Anda Citroyan, Stangl Road in the Martinsville section. I do appreciate the interest by several of the council and the questions raised 2 weeks ago during the Camp Cromwell presentation. So you don't have to answer these questions, but these are thoughts that occurred to me. I listened to the presentation twice. I kindly received a copy of the application that was sent in that bullet listed the different potential possibilities. And while the mayor said that those are non-binding, they certainly pack a lot in. And hopefully that's one of the reasons we got the $4 million requested. However, the ordinance before you tonight to borrow almost $1 million against that in order to start the initiative was poorly defined in the presentation and eats up only almost 25% of that $4 million. So I'm accustomed to more the presentation, for example, that was done on the Middlebrook Pump Station. There was a project scope, there was a timeline, there was a high-level budget and how it was to be financed, and the current state and what had to be done to completion. Those were lacking in the presentation that we saw. So there was sort of a partial timeline of what has been done to date, but no real endpoint other than the federal funding is good for 10 years, but it was a bit nebulous after that about what was going to be done. The list of 28 items didn't seem to be in any particular order in the application, but what was mentioned in the presentation was the pole barn, some fitness stations to the already cleaned up trails, but it was hard to drive that with the significant items mentioned in the application. For example, refurbishing the outbuildings, which could be revenue generating for the township if they were done. And it's not clear whether the extent of what has to be done has been quantified in terms of dollars. Also significantly and prominent in the application was mention of a long-standing need for an ADA playground, but that wasn't mentioned in the presentation either. So my questions that I would hope the council members can consider tonight are, there was no talk, and would the council support an advisory committee or a community organization partnership committee that could work hand in hand as this project goes forward? Because it certainly seems like we're going to need in-kind support from our existing community organizations as well as the federal funding. And so to establish the priorities and balance those, everything is not going to be possible with the funding that we have. Everyone's not going to be necessarily satisfied, but the insertion of a history museum and pickleball courts along, and it's difficult again from the presentation, were those additive or going to replace them? So who's going to be making those decisions over the next few years? As we heard tonight, there are organizations that want to help, but there doesn't seem to be a specified role for them. Again, I think the council should have a better grasp of timeline, project scope. Do we have a shared vision? This is a very unique property of a sizable, heavily wooded, adjacent to some other public properties that we already have, and so we should treat it as such. It is unique and it is valuable, and what is the legacy? What is the vision? I'm not sure that that was really made clear in the presentation either. And again, the amount of money that's being borrowed represents a significant amount of the budget. So what's going to have to come off of that list? And the sooner we can assess that, I think the better everyone will be about that. There were also two unfortunate typos in the presentation. I took a screenshot. I'm happy to, I think those should probably be corrected if I could hand those. I have also a quick question on resolutions 12A and B. So the two questions are, so there seems to be municipal monies coming back into the township as a result of a New Jersey Department of Transportation program. One representing fiscal year 2024, if I understand it correctly, and fiscal year 2025. And that's why they're separated. They're two different amounts, two different fiscal years. I'm assuming those are, I don't know. So one of my questions is the time cycle. So I'm not sure if it's our fiscal year or the state's fiscal year, but I presume that there's an application submitted by us, some time goes by, and then the amount is designated and comes back into the township. And it's a recurring event. So, but it's not clear why the 2024 money is coming in now, and is the 2025 money partial, or is that it for FY 2025?
To answer your question, it's a reimbursable grant, so it depends on when we get a grant from the DOT, we have a certain, I think it's a 2-year window to use it. So ideally, we want to use the money in the same year that we get the grant. I think the 2024 one we actually did, I think we had it for a year before we ultimately did it, because we have to do the reimbursement of it. So that's why, answer your question, why is 2024 coming in? Because now we're being reimbursed, having moved the project forward.
So the second question is, so now that it's coming back into our budget, is this additive, or it replaces an estimate that wasn't included in the budget for this?
It's added. So we can't do with municipal budgeting rules, even if we know it's coming,
Right.
we can't.
Presume.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how's the money going to be used? Is it going to be to cover additional expenses, or is it going to reduce the taxpayer burden?
Yeah, this just goes to reimburse us for the cost of this. Yeah. It's
But the-
reimbursed for, we've already spent this money.
The expense, right, the expenses already occurred in a prior year budget.
No, well, it could have been a prior year or it could be this year.
2024.
Right. So
Right.
it would go, if it was spent in '24, it just goes into the general fund this year. But because of municipal budgeting rules, we actually can't use it this year because it's not allocated towards an expense this year. So it's like, it's unanticipated revenue is what they call it. It basically goes into a pot that rolls into next year, unless we've already allocated an expense for it.
I'm sorry, so
Yeah, so the way municipal.
2024 is going into the
Yeah.
2026 budget?
Yes, so because you have to match up every item of expenditure with an item of revenue, if you get money, we know it's coming, since we already spent it last year, we can't anticipate it this year,
I understand.
so you basically can't spend it.
So for the FY '25 tranche,
Correct.
that's also going into the general fund?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
We're in the current.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's the same thing, whereas because we don't, it's in our budget, I have to go back and look, I just don't have it memorized, but you'd see at the beginning of our budget, some of those have grants that are allocated in advance. So for some of those where we have a certain level of certainty under the state law, we can anticipate the revenue in the budget. This is just actually getting the check. Like there's
Is it
700.
exactly the same amount then?
Yeah, so there's $750,000 like that was allocated in our budget for a road grant from NJDOT. That was money we had enough legal certainty under the statutes that we
Right.
could anticipate. So I don't know off the top of my head for this particular, the 2025 grant, whether that is one that was anticipated or not. I just don't know off the top of my head.
But that's the full amount for state fiscal year 2025, or?
Yeah, for this project.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's other
Our
grants.
fiscal year 2025.
Correct. If there's other grants out there, then each grant is done separately.
And that's the total amount that we are to anticipate under this program for this year?
For that project.
Yeah.
NJDOT could give you multiple projects under the same fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. And that's submitted, we make that submission in the spring?
I don't know. Mike, you know? Summer. Mike says summer.
Summer, okay.
So we'd submit it, they'd award it, but it would be for, when we submit this year, we wouldn't have until next year. For
Fiscal.
building a road. Yeah.
Not calendar?
Yes.
Presumably, it's not that.
Yes, it's the state fiscal
Okay.
year is.
My other
August.
minor comment is on item 12U. So this is the second time I've attended a meeting where permits are issued either after the event or concurrent with the event, in this case, the 4-H, which I love 4-H. I have nothing against the applicant. But I hate to see the council put in an awkward position of approving these after the fact or during the fact. And I wonder whether, at the very least, there can be a deterrent in place to prevent this from proliferating. So whether it's a higher fee or a higher fee for expedited review or a late fee or something like that, because I do fear that as this happens more and more, the council will have to do this more and more. And I don't think it's.
When you're talking about 4-H, you're talking about a countywide organization. And in many cases, the inspections and process that we go through really happens on the days when it's open. They go in there and inspect for food and inspect other things. So other than saying, hey, what we had last year, are we going to do it again? Every year is different. And the level of inspection tends to vary depending on what type. I'll use the food tent. Are there more deep fryers in the food tent this year?
I can assure you it was delicious because I went last night. But in the last time it occurred, it was at a private applicant with fireworks, I believe, at the country club that affected the residents nearby. So
At the meeting, I said specifically, I am vexed by after the fact on something like that. That should not happen.
And I support the council's effort to create a deterrent for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to come forward? Hi, Jane.
Good evening. First, I want to thank you, number one, for continuing to put historical
You have to
articles.
provide name and address.
I did write.
Oh, you have to say it.
Yeah, I did that. I'll put the address. So you guys continue to put articles in the Bridgewater Bulletin. The alliance that we formed, each group submits an article every month. And I appreciate very much that they continue to be published, and also the alliance URL so people can look and see what's going on in the groups. Thank you. Thank you, as Chris said, for providing the booth for the alliance members for the 4-H fair. I worked it yesterday and for a while this morning. We had a tremendous number of people come through. Should have brought magnets. We had magnets made up to hand out, and people were very receptive. So they're looking forward to hearing about the houses in Bridgewater in particular. One of our signs is about the Lane Brokaw Voorhees house, and I tell them it's right down the road. Go and look. Make sure you visit us in October for Journey Through the Past. Many thanks to DPW. I don't think anybody is here from DPW, but they provided the tables and chairs for us. They're always a pleasure to work with, and we appreciate that very much. I'm very glad to see the work beginning on Cromwell. We've been at it for many, many years. I would ask you to think about using some of the data that's been collected in the past so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There were focus groups in the past, and I believe it's all documented. That might be useful information instead of taking the time to do yet another one, although I do encourage you to include the general public, residents of Bridgewater. And then please don't forget, we do have other buildings, Hancock and the Lane Voorhees, and we need to keep those from falling down. The condition of the buildings at Cromwell, as some of you have actually seen, is horrendous. It is a shame that, I don't know if they can be saved actually at this point. They're in such bad condition. And we don't want that to happen to the other properties that you own.
Based on my discussions with DPWs and they say the buildings have good bones. So structurally, as long as we get there in time and preserve them from the outside weather, we should be able to restore them.
Well, fingers crossed that happens. I know I hear police calls, burglar alarms or alarms going off there all the time. But as Chris said, by the time you get there, the people have done their damage. So I will be back, probably to thank you again, because we really do appreciate the work. It's a step in the right direction. But don't let it drop off. We really need to keep going. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the council, please?
I fill out this with my name and
Yeah,
address.
that's fine. Take your time.
Thank you, Council. My name is Maria Gardner. I live
You may
at
want to pull the mic down a little bit so it's easier.
I'm short.
Thank you.
I live at 31 Ray Street, Bridgewater. I wanted to bring to your attention, I'm here with 4 of my neighbors. We have a very grave situation going on with our street. In May, there were some heavy rains, and I'm going to explain a timeline, and my neighbors will give you more details. There was a bad rain in May. There's a culvert between Ray Street and Allen Street, and it flooded. It has nowhere to go. The damage to the street is very severe. The culvert is damaged, if not destroyed. I'm telling you this because we're very, very worried that it's going to collapse, and neighbors will not be able to get out of this street. Let me bring to your attention what has happened. My husband, Jay Gardner, Matt, I know you know, he sent an email, and I have all these as attached. I don't know the protocol, I have a copy, but I'm happy to email it to you. He sent an email, and he received Dan Hearn, who's your deputy, and he wrote back that there's 600 streets in Bridgewater, and we're not on the docket, and to check back in December. My neighbor, Mary, and she'll speak more of this, filled out a form, and she got a response to the same effect. Several days later, someone did come, and they put down 2 cones, and we were happy that something was happening. Several days before, I believe it's June 25th, PSE&G came and put those little flags up. We haven't heard anything since then. Since it's been first reported, we haven't heard anything from the township. And I'm just really worried that something's going to happen. I invite you all to go to the corner of Ray and Ash Street and see the damage. Yesterday, no, actually, it was last Thursday. This is when I really got concerned. We have 3 garbage trucks coming weekly. Recycling comes every 2 weeks. It's a very, very narrow turn, and they're going over the culvert, and it's falling lower. So I just beseech you to really see this damage, and hopefully, I don't know how it works, but if we could somehow bring this to the attention before a very serious accident happens. Thank you.
My name is Adenia Sanchez. I also live on Ray Street. As Maria Gardner was explaining, it's very concerning, especially having 3 young kids, 6, 9, and 12. We're constantly now in September walking to the bus stop to take them, and my middle schooler on her own. And we have to walk on Ray to get towards Ash to get to Allen, because it is a very small cul-de-sac, so the buses cannot come down to Ray Street to turn around and stuff like that. We have to go out to Allen Road. So, it's concerning to have the kids, especially the older one that walks on by herself, to walk over the culvert to get to the main street, to get to the bus every day. I don't allow them. There's also a lot of potholes. I don't allow them to, the nice thing about being in a small cul-de-sac with only like 3, 4 houses is that you can, have your kids play outside and feel, relatively safe. I don't allow them to ride their bikes or their scooters up and down there because I'm afraid. I'm afraid they're going to fall into it. I'm afraid they're going to trip or whatever on the potholes around it and cause another fall. And we also have a puppy now too, so I want to show my oldest one more independence, have more responsibility. But again, if the dog pulls her over, it's concerning. So again, especially now heading into September, having the 2 little ones, one run around while they wait for the bus stop, and the older one, especially as the darker months come, we only have 1 street light on Ray Street. I have reported it, goes back to 2017. I know I reached out to the town and I was told that it's the JCPL's responsibility. I have reached out to them several times. It has not gotten fixed. So now we're talking about potholes and the culvert and in the dark, especially in the winter months. So, to hear a response, we'll get back to you in December, it's very concerning, especially as it gets darker at night. All right, thank you.
One of the, I don't want to cut anybody off if there's anybody else who wants to speak about this, but I just talked to Mr. Pappas, and we'll make sure that our administrator goes out with our DPW or engineer to take a look at it, because I know we were aware of the road conditions, which, I mean, we're trying to get to the roads and we are doing small roads too. We're not leaving anybody out, but it is a process. But I don't know that, at least it didn't get up to our level with regard to the concern about the culvert and the safety. So we're going to go out there tomorrow and make sure that we immediately take a look at the culvert issue from immediate collapse safety, safety issue. And obviously, depending on what the findings of that are, we'll come up with a plan, moving forward to try to address it. Until we look at it, we have, I'm a lawyer by trade, so I don't know how to look at it and judge it from an engineering, public works standpoint. But we'll get those folks with the experience out there to give us a recommendation on how to address it. One of the things that we do try to do when it comes to roads is, if there are roads that have flooding issues, we don't want to just pave a road without addressing the drainage issues that are then going to cause damage to the road. So we attempt to do both at the same time. Unfortunately, drainage projects are incredibly expensive, which makes it that much more difficult. But that being said, when there's a safety issue involved or concern about safety, that obviously elevates the project to one that we have to take a look at, especially when it comes to streets collapsing or caving in or those issues. So Mr. Pappas will go out there with our folks tomorrow, and we will start working on come up with a plan. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So until the folks look at it, we figure out what we need to do and what the cost is and how to fund it. But we'll make sure that it's not just lost in the shuffle, and we'll make sure we address it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you, it's not the only road out there. I remember, I think we've actually paved the road since then, but I remember when I was campaigning, now I guess it was 6 years ago, and I was standing talking to a gentleman, and we were looking at the storm drain, which had like the stamp of like 1954 or 64 on it, and that was the last time that street had been done. So we're getting around, and I said we're not just doing the big streets, but yeah. So what we're going to do, I mean, we're going to address a couple things here. So one, we'll make sure that Mr. Pappas can give you his cards if he has them on him right now. But first and foremost is any safety concerns. I mean, I don't discount the impact of potholes on the roadways in terms of your ability to have your kid. I have 12, 10, and 12, 11, and 8. So I understand about kids wanting to play and ride their bikes. So I'm not discounting the pothole issue. But first and foremost is concern over the culvert and the drainage and the safety with the road structurally, and then we'll take a look at that as well as the paving.
Hi, my name is Joan DePaula. I was going to speak on that, but I have another safety.
I don't mean to jump in front. I mean, you could still talk about it. I just didn't want to.
I mean, really, I would just say pretty much what everybody said. Like, I have a cognitively impaired son who has the mind of a child, so I also can't let him ride his bike there, and, I'm concerned and everything walking.
Take a minute and sign in, okay?
I will.
Thank you.
Okay, but anyway, I would like to talk about a real safety issue that has been going on for years on Allen Road, and I think everybody's probably aware of it because a lot of us have made phone calls, and every neighbor in our neighborhood is very concerned about it. So it really sounds like a drag race out on Allen Road. thousands of cars. Like at one point, they actually measured them, and I forget what the amount was, but I think it was like over 1,700 passed in less than a month or something. And people, it's a 25-mile zone, and very few people respect that. So it makes for a very dangerous situation for people like my son, children, anybody, like walking on that street. And so anyway, I moved there in 1993, and it becomes progressively worse each year. And I also have a dog that he's gotten loose at different times, and so it's like your heart's in your throat when he tears across the street, because the problem is, you can imagine, if somebody's going 50 miles, 40 miles, there is not a chance to stop, like if they were going 25. And the worst part is that when they're coming from Route 202 toward Foothill, it's like a total blind spot if you're crossing from Ash Street on the other side. So again, like Adina was saying, I would like to give my son a little bit more independence, but I can't trust him to cross the street because I'm afraid he's going to get killed. And so anyway, quite a while back, I lose track of time, it's probably 2 years, I did come down to the town, and I spoke with traffic safety, and I had suggested like a 4-way stop sign. They said that they can't do that because there's not enough traffic coming off of Ash Street, because I thought that would at least stop people and also make them maybe not want to come down our road all the time, like Google made it a cut through. And so they can't do that. They couldn't do the speed bump because that hinders the emergency vehicles. And I had suggested at the time a crosswalk. They had said they would look into it. Unfortunately, I didn't follow up with that. But that's what my suggestion would be. I think the gentleman I spoke to thought they wouldn't really pay that much attention to it, but I can tell you, every time any of us are crossing the street, it is very rare that a car will stop and let us cross. And they just keep zipping and zipping, and it's like unbelievable, because they think there has to be a crosswalk or you don't have the right. And so, and they look at you like you're crazy if you walk along Allen Road, because we don't have sidewalks and you have no choice but to walk in that street if you're going to another neighbor's house. So I personally think it would be great if we could get a crosswalk, and it wouldn't be that expensive to put going across Ash Street. And like Adina, when she walks her children to the bus stop, and again, people won't stop to let them cross, to wait for the bus. People won't stop, for anything, just about. And also, a lot of trucks are going down there still. There's a sign that says not any more than 4,000 pounds, but I see them, and they're not going to anybody on the street. They're just cutting through, and I think especially after 8 o'clock at night, but I even see them during the day. But mostly, it's so upsetting, and you wouldn't want to have your children like on that corner. I'm at the corner of Allen and Ash. So, yeah, I would like if you could consider doing that crosswalk. I think it would get people's attention, because they would be like, oh, like there's people that live here. And, because I know when I see a crosswalk, I try to slow down, because you don't know if somebody could be in it.
Rappers, do we have a process for analyzing for crosswalks? Okay. All right. Mr. Pappas will make a note, and we'll add it to our list. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Kathy, we haven't forgotten about you. Come on up.
Good evening, Kathy Franco, Weemak Road. Okay, a couple things. One, since this is public comment, I just want to remind everybody that our property taxes are due on August 10th, although I think we have until August 11th because the 10th is a Sunday. Is that correct? Okay, thank you very much. without penalty or interest. I wondered where our annual financial report for 2024 is, because it's not available on the website, and according to statute, it's supposed to be available no later than February 10th. So I didn't know if that annual financial report is somewhere that just hasn't been posted yet. Okay, so can you look into that? Okay.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Okay, and then also I was wondering about the municipal audit, which is due by June 30th. Last year, I know it was certified, I think it was August 15th. So I was just wondering what the status is of the annual audit for 2024?
Yeah, we should have it soon. It's not done yet.
So soon, meaning August, September?
I-
I don't like as soon as possible.
Yeah,
as
I
it
don't know. I don't know. Probably in the next couple weeks.
Okay, all right. Introduction of the master plan. When might we see that? I know that the past, I think, at least 2, if not 3, planning board meetings have been canceled. So I know a master plan hasn't been able to go before them, and it has to go before them before it can come before you. So are we going to see that at some
Yeah,
point?
we don't have a specific date, but expectation is September, because we don't want it to go too close to the end of the year, because you can't have ordinances and they can't carry over.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have a specific meeting date in terms of the introduction yet.
And so would that be September for the planning or for the council?
Yeah, it's got to go to the planning board first, so planning board would look at it. Presumably, they would make a recommendation for adoption, and then if the council needs to take any action. Remember, the master plan is just adopted by the planning board. The ordinances that adopt it are done by the council.
Okay, all right. I was a little surprised that you're going to introduce an ordinance for $975,000 of bond for Camp Cromwell, where when last month, when you spoke about Camp Cromwell, you talked about 1.2 million. So did we find extra money in a capital, or did we recalculate the cost of what we needed to do?
Actually, we attempted to constrain that a little bit so it would be more of a manageable activity. And we felt that 25%, literally 25% of the available reimbursable funds was a better reach than attempting to bond for more money than we really need. At this point, we have not, as far as I know, worked out the specifics as to what components would be in the 975.
But we're still hoping for a summer of 2026 available for passive recreation opening. Okay, all right, just checking on that. And finally, Councilman Kirsch, you spoke about the cost of electricity, which I certainly can appreciate. I mean, my electricity bill went up, and the burden, on all of us as taxpayers as well as the township. But I just want to bring to your attention and to everyone's attention that I believe you voted in favor of the data center approval for our community, which is going to suck up a whole lot of electricity. So, I just wanted to bring that to
Data
light.
centers are all over.
I understand data centers are all over, but we're bringing one into our township, and you voted in favor of it. So,
There's no direct impact between those two. It's the macro issue. It's not this data center on Route 22
yeah,
is causing your electricity
Councilman
to go
Kirsch,
up.
we can have a debate offline. I don't think that this is the place. Do you agree, Councilman Nogales?
No, I was going to say, we're looking for your comments. We understand that there are issues. I think we all feel them.
Okay, and then I know you have a couple of things coming up for public hearing and final ordinance. I don't know if I need to come back up for those, or if I can just make my little comment. I think on 10C, you're looking to spend $165,000 for a piece of property that is assessed at $7,800 per lot.
Public hearing on that, so hold the comment formally for the public comment, okay?
All right, I will come back for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing
And
to
Ms.
address?
Franco, September 1st is sewers. You mentioned taxes. I said in September 1st is your second sewer payment.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up as well.
Anyone else wishing to address the council? Seeing no additional movement, could I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Okay, second, please.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, we're closed to the public. Thank you very much. Okay, we are now moving on to item 10, which is public hearing and final action ordinance. 10A is an ordinance to set the compensation of the mayor, township council members, department heads, and certain other municipal employees pursuant to Chapter 374 of the Public Laws of 1985, NJSA 2A:809, NJSA 2A:8-13, NJSA 40A:9-165, NJSA 40A:9-135, NJSA 40A:9-146, and Chapter 95 of the Public Laws of 1996. Mr. Pappas, would you like to offer any comments on that?
Only comment additional, just as a reminder, that the mayor and council is not getting any increase, which remains the same, I think, as it was in at least 2003, but no raises for us.
I have been here my entire council career and never gotten a raise. Not that I'm complaining, by the way. If there are, I'd like to motion to open to the public, please, for comments.
So moved.
Second, please. Second. All those in favor of opening to the public? All right, we are open to the public. Anyone wishing to offer comments on 10A, please? Seeing no movement, could I have a motion to close for 10A and move for final action, please?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and a second, please?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Norgalis?
Yes. Okay, and we're moving to 10B, ordinance of the Bridgewater Township Council authorizing the acquisition through donation of land identified as Lot 4 in Block 567, located on St. Antonio Avenue, consisting of approximately 6,000 square feet. This donation is made possible through the Somerset Land Equities Corporation.
Motion to open public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay?
We have a motion.
Motion. So,
Yeah.
we've got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're open to the public on 10B. Anyone wishing to address the council, please come forward.
Hello again, Kathy Franco, Weemac Road. I just wondered if there's any potential conflict of interest, since I believe Somerset Properties is owned by Tom Genova, who's our Director of Municipal Services, and since he's making a donation to the township, is there any conflict of interest involved with this donation?
No, it's an arm's length. He's offered the property, and we're accepting it at no cost, so
Okay, thank you very much.
you're welcome. Anyone else wishing to address on that issue?
Seeing no one, I move to close public hearing and move for final action.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Norgalis?
Yes. Moving to 10C, an ordinance of the Township of Bridgewater authorizing the acquisition of land identified as Lot 25 and 26, Block 254, consisting of approximately 8,000 square feet, from Arlene F. Bagan and K.A. Falco as tenants, in common for the purchase of price of $165,000 from the Township's Open Space Fund. Could I have a motion to go to open public?
I'll make that motion.
And a second, please.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We are open to the public for any comments on 10C, please.
Can I get my stamp for frequent flyer? Kathy Franco. So I just questioned the purchase price. Each of the two properties are currently assessed at $7,800 per lot, which is $15,600. And we're paying more than 10 times that amount for this property. They pay approximately $160 per year on each property. So I'm just wondering why it is. And when I even did the math on how my property is assessed from a land value, I couldn't see where, like, if I took 8,000 square feet of my property and multiplied it by the size of my property, I was just like, okay, this seems like a lot of money that we're spending on this. So I just am bringing that to your attention for your consideration as you look to vote on this ordinance.
Thank you. Mr. Franco, the answer to the question as a general matter is that the property is right near the Harry Alley Park area, and so we are trying to, this property is contiguous to other property we own, that we are trying to continue to build up our portfolio over there. Well, I guess it's beneficial for the property owners, but they know that we want it. And for us, there's a lot of value in the property because of what we can do with it.
Assessed, too.
Yeah.
It was assessed at $7,800 per lot.
But besides the tax assessment, and
Yeah, I'm saying we did it,
there's an independent appraisal done of the property.
And what was the independent appraisal? Because that's not in any of the material that was provided.
Yeah,
to
it
the
was,
public.
it was about, it was somewhere right around that number, because we didn't pick a number out of thin air. But the answer to your question as a general matter is that's the value to us in the property, which is what, it's there for. So there was an arm's length transaction, negotiations, appraisal, and that was agreed upon.
Okay, I just,
Alan just
I have,
it was 165.
Thank you.
I have expressed the same concerns that for something that is appraised at such a de minimis value would garner $165,000. So I will not support this.
I know you brought that up at the last meeting. Thank you,
Yeah.
Councilman Cordalis.
Anyway,
Thank you.
any other comments? Thank you, Mrs. Franco. Anyone else in the public? Could I have a
Motion to close
motion to
public.
close and move for final action?
Well, do you want any further discussion first?
Sure.
So motion to close.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor
Aye.
of closing? All right, we're closed for public input.
No, I mean, you said you had some concern.
Oh,
didn't-
I've expressed my concern. I
Okay.
think in terms of things, I realize there's a value to it because of its contiguous to other things, but we're struggling. Now, I realize this is money we have, so we can spend it. But I am concerned that the rate of return, $165,000 is a lot of money.
Councilman Cardillo did confirm during the public comment
I know,
that it was
we've
appraised.
I've
Yeah.
talked to them.
So it's the independent appraisal is consistent with the price.
Yeah.
I will, you have something else to, no, Michael looks like he was going to say something.
Second?
Well, no, I mean, it just bears noting that, there was an appraisal done. It is a strategic acquisition. It's also a strategic acquisition in light of what else may be available in that immediate environment. And, I believe the price is justified, and I'm going to support it.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes, I'm presuming you want to go last.
Well, no, I was going to make a motion if not.
Oh, I see.
So I didn't want to make a motion if you wanted to comment.
Yeah, first of all, I want to acknowledge and thank the members of the Open Space Committee who obviously are volunteers and spend their time reviewing these matters and provide recommendations to us. And I also want to acknowledge and thank Councilman Cardillo for spending many, many years as the head person of the Open Space Committee for this governing body. So this acquisition has been reviewed and recommended by the Open Space Committee. I place a lot, obviously, this governing body appoints members of the Open Space Committee, and I do trust their judgment. I think, for myself, I think the property has value because it is filling in holes in adjacent to property that this township owns, next to a park that has the use for public use. So I do think that there is basis to buy this property. When it comes to the issue of the value, It was appraised by an independent appraiser, and that this is apparently the value that it came up as. The funds to purchase this property is coming through open space funds. There's no additional tax being assessed to anyone for making this purchase. The money's already there. The Open Space Committee feels it's a proper use of the funds to buy this land, and I have no reason, I found nothing to disagree with that opinion, so I will support it.
Roll call, please.
I'd like to make a motion, we move on it.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Norgalis?
No. Okay, moving to number 11, ordinance introductions. 11A, an ordinance of the Township of Bridgewater amending R10A Single Family Zone, Section 126-308.1 of the Township Code to permit supportive housing. Mr. Pappas, comments, please, here?
This is a part of the affordable housing fair share, the housing plan. This is a township-owned property. There would be a structure with 5 units for hearing-impaired individuals. And that term supportive housing is one that is required for us to get the credits that we are seeking for that.
A very worthy cause. Any other comments, please?
Just have a question.
Sure.
I had a legal question. Mr. Corsini, step out.
Yeah.
My question, maybe Mr. Pappas can help me. It says that it's a maximum of 5 units shall be permitted. I didn't see a definition of the term units. Is it defined somewhere else in
It's
the
an
ordinance?
apartment, 5 units, apartment units, so there are 5 individual apartments.
But is the term unit defined within the ordinance so that it's not, units cannot be argued later on to mean individual buildings or structures? You know what I'm saying? Is there a definition for units?
Well, I think what this ordinance proposes is permitting one structure that would have 5 individual dwelling units, apartments.
Yeah, this is somewhat akin to what cooperative housing has over by the post office. It's one home on one level, 5 bedrooms, common room, common kitchen. Each person has their own bedroom and bathroom.
I think
This is even more independent units, so each unit would have their own kitchen, bathroom facilities, bedrooms, so this is actual 5 individual apartments.
Okay. Okay. Well, the inference of supportive housing is that they get some help. But if the help is only in the provision of the building, that's fine.
I think to Councilman Pedrosa's comment, though, when you read the actual ordinance, it says a maximum of 5 units shall be permitted. Further down, it says a density of 2,500 square feet per dwelling unit. So does that mean 5 at 2,500 square feet? It's not defining what a unit.
Did it say maximum?
Density of 2,500 square feet per dwelling unit. So if they're allowed to build 5 units, that's one big building.
I think that's for the whole building.
Well, I think it needs some,
Okay.
right? Isn't that what you're trying to say, Councilman Pedrosa?
You want to table that for a wording review?
I would ask that there's some time constraint here for funding for the applicant, so if you could propose an introduction. I know that both Mrs. Green and Alex Fisher collaborated on this, and I think it's correct, but I can clarify that, but I would hate to see it delayed.
Okay. Well, I have no problem with us proceeding with it. This is an introduction, so between now and the next adoption, we can make any changes.
I would support introduction.
Okay. So why don't we do that? Well, a motion introduced from Councilman Cardilla. Could I have a second from that?
Second.
A second? Okay.
Councilman Pedrosa? Sorry, I'm sorry, Council President, I'm sorry. In the interest of, we introduce it, but then if we make a change, it's a material change.
If it's a material change. Now,
Yeah,
and
but-
if it's wrong, then
But
it's
what,
material.
can't we just simply, add, it says a maximum of 5 units shall be permitted, why can't we say 5 apartment units?
I think,
But
I thought the issue was the 2,500 square foot. Are you
because that's
saying
talking about a
that?
dwelling unit. So what I'm suggesting is we define what under section 1E2, we define what a unit is. And say a unit should be the equivalent of a one-bedroom apartment.
I'm not sure if they're one bedroom, how many bedrooms there are.
I don't think we should wordsmith it here. I
All
think
right.
we should let the professionals do that between now and.
We're going to be reintroducing.
I understand the concern. The concern is your 5 independent apartment units is what was presented. The council has been briefed on this, and perhaps the 2,500 square feet could be the total size of the structure. I think that's what it means. So, I think a unit is
All right,
defined.
well, why don't we do this? We can move forward with introduction, and it can be reflected on by the necessary folks, and then it is actually the attorney who decides whether it's material at point.
That's fine.
And if it is material, we'll just reintroduce it. If not, we'll adopt it, okay? Could I have a motion to introduce 11A?
I make that motion.
And a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay. If there's no additional discussion, a roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
No.
Councilman Ring?
No.
Council President Orgalis?
Yes. And now, I always step on your part of it, which is to announce the date, so I'm not going to do that today.
Final action is scheduled for August 21st at 7:30 PM here in the municipal courtroom. Public inspection of this ordinance has been made available on the website, bulletin board, and through the clerk's office.
Okay, moving to 11B, an ordinance of the Township of Bridgewater amending Section 126 of the Bridgewater Township Code, adding Section 126-321.10 titled AH3 Affordable Housing Zone, allowing for 100% affordable multifamily residential development and disabled veterans housing pursuant to the provisions of the Fair Housing Act and any uniform housing and affordability controls. Mr. Pappas, any comments, please?
This is, again, part of our housing plan. The proposal is 5 units, individual apartments, family units, and 4 units for disabled veterans.
Was this the one where we asked if he could go to 6, he would, or is it only 5?
No, this is another one. This is not,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions, please?
I would suggest when we're talking about the number of units and stuff, it may bring up the same questions as the prior ordinance. And I would be happy to recommend we move this with the same questions as the prior.
For a total reflection on the document. Okay, could I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, any other comments? Roll call, please.
I just had the
11B.
same issues. It's
Sorry?
just for the record, the same issues as with the prior ordinance reference to the definition of units.
Again, individual.
Roll call, please, on 11B.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
No.
Councilman Ring?
No.
Council President Orgalis?
Yes. And your date.
Final action is scheduled for August 21st at 7:30 PM here in the municipal courtroom. Public inspection of this ordinance has been made available on the website, bulletin board, and through the clerk's office.
Thank you. 11B, bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $975,000 for various improvements at Camp Cromwell in and by the Township of Bridgewater in the County of Somerset, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $926,250 bond or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation. Mr. Pappas, any comments?
Be happy to answer any questions. No, sir.
Okay, we have talked about this at great length. Could I have a motion, please, for introduction.
Motion to introduce.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
Any final comments? Otherwise, roll call,
Just
please.
that there is I like the fact that there's a provision in here that makes it very specific, as the money comes back, it has to be used towards the note.
Yes,
So,
thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
yes.
Council President Orgalis?
Yes.
Final action is scheduled for August 21st at 7:30 PM here in the municipal courtroom. Public inspection of this ordinance has been made available on the website, bulletin board, and through the clerk's office.
Okay, thank you. Moving to resolutions, I'd like consent on 12A and 12B. I'll read them both. 12A, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 40A:4:87, budget Chapter 159 in the amount of $404,652 for the NJDOT fiscal year 2024 municipal aid program. 12B, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation, NJSA 40A:4:87, budget Chapter 159 in the amount of $356,411 for the NJDOT fiscal year 2025 municipal aid program. Any further comments from Mr. Pappas on 12A or 12B?
No, sir.
Thank you. Resolution, a motion, please. We have a motion, a second?
I'll second it.
Second, a roll call, 12A, 12B, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Orgalis?
Yes. 12C, resolution authorizing the reduction of taxes due to approved state tax appeals and refund of overpayment for property taxes located at 430 Route 22. By the way, that is the Ortho McNeil building, and making it easy for Mr. Pappas. That's a reduction in the overall building assessment from $19,000,004 to $16,000,009, and that reduction of assessment is worth $48,775, which we owe them.
Do we fund the full 48.7 on the reduction, or does the school board fund their 66%?
No, we fund it all. That's state regulations.
So someone files a tax appeal and wins, and we have to foot the whole bill?
Correct.
And we do that for the library piece and for the...
Yeah, I just think that's
Okay.
Everybody should share.
Okay.
correct. I mean, it's only $48,000, but it sets the precedence, and everyone should.
I happen to agree, but it doesn't...
I agree. It's just, that's state.
I understand.
State of
just
New Jersey.
voicing
No,
Thank you. Motion, please. I'll make the motion. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
What if we vote no, and this doesn't pass?
It's a decision of the tax court.
Well, don't forget, it's tax court. We lost on this one. This is the pony up the money we've lost.
This is just authorizing Pandos to write a check.
Right.
To settle the tax court. So they basically have a judgment.
Wait,
We have the purse
this is
string.
Okay,
settlement
with
or
my
judgment?
arm twisted behind my back, I'll have to vote yes, but I
Okay.
really
This is
don't like
settlement
this.
or a judgment?
It's attached.
Huh?
It's attached. It's a civil action judgment.
Yeah.
So our option would be to appeal it. That would be our option.
We're
Don't
going to
accept it.
appeal it for 48.
Just asking.
Yeah,
So
it'll
we
cost
understand the steps,
more in
that's all.
legal fees.
Yeah.
To
Option would
appeal
be
a
to appeal it.
$49,000
And then we'd have to
judgment.
incur legal expenses, and then,
Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Did we get one yet?
We have
Al?
the motion.
through
We're
the
in the
vote.
middle of
Without
roll call.
Alan.
Two of us voted already.
Okay, ready.
Councilman Cardilla?
I thought I just voted.
No,
My
you
arm
approved.
twisted.
Go ahead, vote again.
Yes.
This is Chicago.
Councilman Perdoso?
my arms are twisted like Alan's. Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Begrudgingly, yes.
Council President Nogales.
Yes. D is authorizing the execution of a police services agreement for school resource officers, also known as an SRO, with Bridgewater Raritan Board of Education, which is the board located at 836 Newman's Lane, P.O. Box 6030, Bridgewater, New Jersey, for a one-year term commencing on August 1st, 2025. Mr. Pappas.
This is an identical agreement from last year's, except the number has been adjusted up due to increased salary.
And this is indeed the only direct police support we provide?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Mr. Pappas, as was the case last year, we may provide an additional SRO, but are not obligated to do so.
Correct.
So this is
At the chief's discretion.
Okay, so this is acknowledging that we will provide an officer, and said officer will be paid by the school district.
Yes.
But
Okay.
we did provide the second
Second officer.
SRO last year, but it went to the middle school instead of the high school.
Yeah, that's
correct?
at the discretion of the chief,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
But it was pretty effective from what I
Yes.
understand.
Correct.
Okay, could I have a motion, please, on 12D?
So moved.
I'll second
Okay,
it.
second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Council President Nogales.
Yes. E is authorizing appointment of Jordan R. Volk, P.E. and PMP of Colliers Engineering and Design as sewer utility engineer for the township for a one-year term commencing on August 7, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $50,000. I know Mr. Pappas is aware we went through an extensive interview process and came to the conclusion there are lots of engineers who do this. Some are very, very expensive, and this represents a good balance. Did I do okay on it? Okay. I'll move this item, in fact. Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Council President Nogales.
Yes. F is authorizing amendment to a site access agreement between the Township of Bridgewater and Ethicon Incorporated for the installation of monitoring wells on Block 411, Lot 39.07, and Block 411.01, Lot 41. Ethicon will remain responsible for the ecological, environmental issues, and therefore they will cover the cost of any monitoring wells that are required. Anything?
Just to clarify, are we putting the monitoring wells on Ethicon's property, or is Ethicon?
No, they're putting in, but they need access through our property.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but this is not costing us anything, but this gives
Understood.
them access through our property.
So moved.
Okay, second, please.
I'll second it.
Roll call 12F.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Cordilla,
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Council President Nogales.
Okay, now I would like to do G, H, I, J, K, and L by consent. I'm going to read it once. Don't ask for a reread, please. G is award of contract to Top Line Construction Corporation, 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, 08876 for the 2025-1 road improvement project, which includes the base bid for the entire lengths of Monroe Street and Jackson Street in the sum of $322,382.93, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Fund. H, award of contract to Top Line Construction Corporation, 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, 08876, for the 2025-2 roadway improvement project, which includes the base bid for the entire lengths of Danbury Lane, Villa Drive, Heinrich Way, and alternate bid A for the entire lengths of Edmonds Court and Richardson Lane in the sum of $573,378.16, funded through the 2025 Road Capital Program. I, award of contract to Top Line Construction Corporation, 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, for the 2025-3 road improvement project, which includes the base bid for the entire length of Cabot Hill Road and Riverview Drive east of Meadow Road, and alternate bid B for the entire length of West Foothill Road in the sum of $789,554.22, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Fund. J, award of contract to Top Line Construction Corporation, 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, 08876, for the 2025-4 roadway improvement project, which includes the base bid for the entire length of Sunset Drive and Miners Drive, and alternate bid A, Clare Drive, that's Arthur Road to Robin Way and Glenwood Terrace, Foothill Road to Clare Drive, in the sum of $826,747.49, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Fund. K, award of contract to Top Line Construction Corporation, 22 Fifth Street, Somerville, New Jersey, 08876, for the 2025-5 roadway improvement project, which includes the base bid for the entire lengths of Ridge Road, Middlebrook Road, and Bolmer Farm Road, in the sum of $557,981.03, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Fund. L, award of contract to ADG Contracting Corporation, doing business as Crossroads Paving, 121 South Midland Avenue, Kearney, New Jersey, 07032, for the 2025-6 excuse me, roadway improvement project, which includes the base bid for the entire length of Forest View Drive, Blazer Road, Wolf Hill Terrace, and Owens Court, in the sum of $591,313, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Program. Okay, that's G, H, I, J, K, and L. Could I have any discussion on these? We are very fortunate. Top Line was a low bidder here, significant, and they do a good job.
They do a good job, and no disrespect to them. I guess my only question would be, are we comfortable that they have the capacity for the volume we're giving them?
Yes,
Okay.
we are.
That's one of the earliest questions. Can they handle it?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
My office evaluates that.
yeah.
They have to certify it.
okay. Listen, I'm not, Top Line is Top Line. not
That's a commercial.
Not criticizing them, it's just, I think it's a
Did I
fair
take
question.
that as a motion?
Sure.
Okay, yes. Second.
Second.
Okay, a roll call, please, on G, H, I, J, K, and L.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
I think so.
Councilman Cordilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Abstain.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Nogales?
Yes. Okay, now we're going to also do consent, and this time we're going to go M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, as one package. Okay, let me go back. Project resolution for construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the 2025-1 road improvement project, which includes the entire lengths of Monroe Street, Jackson Street, Columbia Drive, Dartmouth Avenue, Stanford Drive, and Kelly Court, to Morgan Engineering LLC, 8 Central Avenue, Box 220, Island Heights, New Jersey, 08732, in the amount of $105,500, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond. N is project resolution for construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the 2025-2 roadway improvement project, which includes Danbury Lane, Villa Drive, Heinrich Way, Edmonds Court, Richardson Lane, Catherine Way, Karen Place, Lewis Drive, Elmira Drive, Boyer Drive, Stapleton Court, and Slack Court, to Collier's Engineering and Design Incorporated. Shelbourne at Huntington, 53 Frontage Road, Suite 110, Hampton, New Jersey, 08827, in the amount of $88,020, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond. O is project resolution for construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the 2025-3 roadway improvement project, which includes the entire lengths of Cabot Hill Road, Riverview Drive, east of Meadow Road, Short Hills Drive, Bick Place, Falmouth Place, West Foothill Road, and Eisenhower Avenue, McKinley Street, west of Country Club Road, to Remington and Varnick Engineers, 429 Route 79, Suite 21, Morganville, New Jersey, 07751, in the amount of $77,480, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond. P is project resolution for construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the 2025-4 roadway improvement projects, which includes entire lengths of Sunset Drive, Miners Drive, Clare Drive, Arthur Road to Robin Way, Glenwood Terrace, Foothill Road to Clare Drive, Russet Lane, Peachtree Road, Ricky Drive, Papin Road west of Roger Avenue, Bluestone Lane, Carnoustie Drive, and Turnberry Court to Remington and Varnick Engineers, 429 Route 79, Suite 21, Morganville, New Jersey, 07751, in the amount of $71,510, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond. Q, project resolution for construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the 2025-5 roadway improvement project, which includes entire lengths of Ridge Road, Middle Road, Bulmer, Farm Road, 6th Avenue, 7th Avenue, and Crestwood Drive to Colliers Engineering and Design, Incorporated, Shelbourne at Huntington, 53 Frontage Road, Suite 110, Hampton, New Jersey, 08827, in the amount of $59,940, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond. R, project resolution for construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the 2025-6 roadway improvement project, which includes entire lengths of Forest View Drive, Blazer Road, Wolf Hill Terrace, Owens Court, and Brookside Drive to CP Engineers, LLC, 11 Park Lane Road, Sparta, New Jersey, 07871-3241, in the amount of $97,131, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond. S, project resolution for design and construction engineering services, Phase 2, for the Plymouth Road, Ryan Way, and Jeffrey Lane roadway improvement project, which includes the entire lengths of Plymouth Road, Ryan Way, and Jeffrey Lane to Colliers Engineering and Design, Incorporated, Shelbourne at Huntington, 53 Frontage Road, Suite 110, Hampton, New Jersey, 08827, in the amount of $136,500, funded through the 2025 Capital Road Improvement Bond and year 2024 NJDOT municipal aid. Wow, okay. So we have before us MNOPQRNS. Any questions from Mr. Pappas? And I will not read it again.
I don't have a question, but I'll make a motion, we move them.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Cordova?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Abstain.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Argalas?
Yes. T, authorizing change order number 1 and final change orders decreasing the contract price from $1,900,000 to $1,624,709.71, a decrease of 14.5%, or $275,290.29, authorizing acceptance of the project release of the performance bond, acceptance of the maintenance bond, and final payment to BlackRock Enterprises, LLC, 1316 Englishtown Road, Old Bridge, New Jersey, 08857, for the 2022 That's got to be a type. That's got to be a typo.
I would make a motion to move this, but boy, knowing the streets that were worked on, I have to commend these guys. That is a rough area to work in as far as roads go.
Okay. All right. Continuing, I still have to finish. But there's a correction there that it's 2025-6. A road improvement project, which includes the entire lengths of Middlebrook Road, Washington Avenue, Washington Road, Woodlawn Terrace, Washington Road to Middlebrook Road, Lexington Avenue, Lydell Avenue, and Bosler Avenue, Hillcrest Road to Cedar Crest Road funded through the 2023 Capital Road Fund. Next
As
one,
stated, Howard,
request for waiver of permit fees. Oh, no,
We
we'll
need to
take,
vote
we'll
on
take those.
T. I make a motion, we move 12T.
I'll
Got it.
I
second.
just want to clarify, what was the mistake, what was the correction?
On 22 for the fifth, sixth line, it's 2022-6 is what it says, road improvement program. It's
Yes.
2025.
Right, right, this is
No.
a change order.
It's a,
It's right, it's 2022-6.
Used by that as well.
Yeah, the change
it's
order.
2022-6, yes, that's all the supporting paperwork shows that.
We didn't have a -6 back in 20,
We did.
okay, all right. If that's right.
It's
I'll
3
take it.
years ago.
Okay,
Close out.
It's 3 years ago.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for, all right,
We worked our way through that too.
got it. Okay, did we get everybody on that one?
Those are rough roads.
Okay, next,
I mean, the vote.
oh, okay, we got a roll, motion,
So moved.
second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch? Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Orgalis?
Yes. U is request for waiver of permit fees in an amount not to exceed $2,560 from the fire official, the construction code department, and the health department for the Somerset County 4-H Association in connection with the Somerset County 4-H Fair at North Branch Park, located at 310 Milltown Road, Bridgewater, New Jersey, on August 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Just fix that to 2025, and I will move it as amended.
Got it. Okay, second?
I'll second and acknowledge that, knocking on wood, Mr. Pappas, you've had good weather this year.
Okay. Now, we're moving to,
We,
I know. I know, okay.
Did we vote on this already?
Have faith.
Did we vote on it?
We have, which? With the last one?
Yeah.
Then you just, oh, you call the roll. Sorry.
Councilman Kirsch?
yes.
Councilman Cardilla?
Yes.
Councilman Perdoso?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
Council President Orgalis?
Yes. Okay, we have a unique situation here. Normally, I would call for a closed session, and we'd move forward. However, one of the items listed in 13 in closed session is contract negotiations.
Howard, I believe Mr. Pappas.
Oh,
So you can just conventionally go towards.
okay, well, thank you. That simplifies things. Okay, so we're going to go to closed session. Can I have a motion, please, to go to closed session?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Be it resolved by the Bridgewater Township Council, this body will now convene in a closed session to discuss the following matters: litigation with Warren Township, contract negotiations for affordable housing, and the Center of Excellence for Peters Brook. Please, let's see, when and if matters discussed become public record, this information will be made available to public. Public is excluded from said meeting. Further notice is hereby dispensed with all in accordance with Section 8 and 4A of the Open Public Meetings Act. Now,
No action afterwards?
yeah,
Have a good night, Roman.
all right. We are now closed. When did
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we are back live now. We have closed the closed session, and we're up to the final action of the day. And Mr. Cardilla has made a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
What's that? 11 a.m.
Of all the districts to be bitching about emergency services, Reno, I wouldn't give them a nickel.
I offer counsel and advice, as you know, but.
Mike was trying to get your attention. Mike was trying to get your attention.
I remember going to a meeting with a copy of the check